r/ask Reddit. What stupid thing did you spend tons of money on? One of those ab belts that shocks your muscles into contracting to give you a six-pack. Newsflash, it didn't work, but it did shock the crap out of me. Edit. For everyone telling me about body fat and toning doesn't work and blah blah. I was a 19-year-old, 125 pounds female soldier with the 101st Airborne Division. Some of the SF, Ranger, and infantry guys I worked with said they were using them. I just had this little fat pooch I was hoping to get rid of. Swimsuit season was coming. Sounds like you were overcharged. Thank you for putting your body on the line for science. A man bought this weight loss device. The results will shock you. A metal detector for when I lost my college ring. I lost the ring during a party I threw. I thought I lost it outside and freaked out and bought a metal detector to find it. Turns out it was on my desk underneath a dollar bill. Some would argue school rings themselves fit this question. You know you can rent a metal detector. A Snoop Dogg concert. Snoop was so ducked up on something that he didn't sing a single word. Someone stood behind a podium with a MacBook and played old Snoop songs over the PA. Snoop hobbled around on stage and threw joints from a bag at the same people in the front row over and over again. Every now and then he would wobble over to the mic and yes something like a hype man like yaha that's right etc. I still feel betrayed to this day and get irrationally upset when the Reddit hive mind praises Snoop Dogg on a daily basis. This happened to me with Pearl Jam. He was so drunk he was rolling around on the stage floor wasted. It took me a good 10 years to forgive them. In college, my then BF took his sister to a Pearl Jam concert in the mid-90s and it was a shit show because Eddie was so drunk. Fans actually sued him for being so bad. Aussie 1982-ish. Too wasted to sing. Randy Rhoads played 45 minutes guitar solo about while they had Ozzy backstage trying to sober him up maybe. A 45 minutes Randy Rhoads solo would be worth going for him lol. Duct tape. When I was around 12-13 I spent tons of money on duct tape to make wallets and shit. I was good at it, but it really was a waste. I had a crate full of about 30-40 rolls. Good times. That's a lot of duct tape but at least you always have some on hand when needed. Oh shit the plane has broken in half. Who can save us now? OP. Smirks. Well I think it's obvious you must craft a giant wallet out of duct tape. A wallet so big it takes about 30-40 rolls of duct tape. You might even break some type of obscure world record. Steam sales. The bundles. I recently saw that something like 36% of all Steam purchases are never played and, on top of that, only 12-13% are played for more than 30 hours. I blame Steam sales. They give you that extra motivation to jump off the fence when deciding on a purchase. Because 75% minus 95% off feels like a once in a lifetime thing even though it happens like once or twice a month. In fairness a lot of games are shorter than 30 hours. I'd say 90% of the games I play can be finished within them. Textbooks that the prof never used despite being required. Did you ever read the textbooks though? I didn't have time to read the textbooks while I was studying undergrad. After studying, I picked them up and read them. It had everything I needed, explained everything I didn't understand. Didn't make that mistake again in my grad and postgrad studies. Also, using the library instead of buying books works wonders. Sims expansion packs. That shit racks up in cost so ducking fast. But we want our virtual people to ride horses and get better jobs and turn into vampires. There is a few characters made by the community that are using clothes from a specific expansion, and now I want that damn expansion. League of Legends. Same, I quit the game too and my life has been nothing but better since. My friend quit last year and now he's slamming methyl mayo. Bath bombs. It's literally money down the drain. Some have glitter and dyes. Without elaborating, I'll just say these things can be problematic for women. That's how pearls are made. Lush is evil. You'd be a block away and smell it. Which turns into yes $5 is a reasonable price to spend per bath. The secret is to break the bath bombs into smaller pieces. It still works and they last a lot longer. I spend all of my wages making sure I have somewhere to sleep, wash and eat just so I can go to work to afford to sleep, wash and eat. And if you have a family, you also get to clean that place for free when you didn't even make the mess. Yeah, them ducking dunts. If you start to feel frustrated, just remember the Bucket family had it worse having to put up with that worthless freeloader Grandpa Joe who only ate, smoked, and shit the bed for 20 years until he jumped at the chance to exploit his grandson for a free tour of a chocolate factory. Going out to eat, I always budget like $400 for food a month, and it actually ends up being like $900 because of how much I eat out. Yet, I also spend ludicrous amounts of money on food because I don't like to cook. I'm trying to switch to easy to prep meals, but eating out is so much easier. And you know what is easier and more expensive than all of that? Delivery. Magic the Gathering. Sitting here looking at my 4 legacy decks and 3 modern decks, I don't have the problem you do. This is surprisingly very far down this list. Warhammer figurines. The game was okay, but it took me far too long and far too many purchases to remember that I don't like painting. About $200 worth of D&D books, figures, dice, and miscellaneous accessories when several of us from work formed a group. We played fairly regularly, but the guy whose house we played at got pissy when things didn't go exactly his way, so he stopped all games at his house. We tried playing a couple of times at other locations, but he had been located centrally, and depending on where we played, some people ended up driving more than an hour. Plus, when he quit, he took his girlfriend and best friend with him. I spent £30 on Shaq Fu for the Mega Drive when I was a kid and still regret it. Saving that much took me months. If you make a review of it on YouTube, you'll probably make the money back. You're forgetting age inflation. Spending £30 as a child is the equivalent of spending £1 million as an adult. Interest. When I was young and stupid, I bought a car I couldn't afford. Put bills on credit cards when I lived beyond my means because I grew up poor and was never taught how to budget properly. 5 years ago I paid that car off. Still drive it to this day and plan on driving it until it dies on me. Consolidated my CCs into a low interest loan with automatic payments. 28 more months and I'll be debt free. It took me far too long to understand how to budget and use my money properly. Insulin. It's stupid I have to spend tons of money on insulin. You lack self-control. I have never, ever bought insulin. Granted, I don't have diabetes, but still. Have you noticed how insulin dopers always have diabetes? There's just no way that's a coincidence. Don't do drugs, kids. Everything Disney I bought when I used to work for Disney World. They know what they are doing. They really do get you there. Like I clearly don't need a lightsaber, talking Yoda, or large Mickey Mouse plush, but yet I have them, and I have to explain to everyone who visits my apartment. Don't beat yourself up. Everybody needs a lightsaber. College. Not that the education was stupid and it did get me a good job, but I did it wrong and took out loans instead of spending less on dining out and other shenanigans. I definitely should have paid it off semester by semester. You're welcome, Navient. Timeshare condo in Park City. Had one good vacation there in 6 years of ownership because it was so damn hard to get an available week. At least I was well off enough to buy with cash. Never buy one of these. It's treated like property. It comes with an open-ended maintenance contract and like real property, there is no secondary market, so you can't sell it. Just don't buy it. However, since then, I've never hesitated to take their free tickets and offers since then. I listen to their pitch and then just tell the salesperson, there is literally nothing they can do, say or show me to get me to buy. My uncle goes to timeshare pitches all the time just to scarf up the free food or whatever they're offering. It's just his hobby now. He'll even sit happily through the whole presentation, although he would never in a million years buy one. My dad did this for about a decade just to screw with the salespeople. Got to sit in one sales pitch with him. My dad is one of the nicest but frustrating people on the planet when he wants to be. Was educational. Went to a different city to meet a girl I met on internet, booked flight tickets and hotels on advance for 3 days. She didn't turn up. This is one of the biggest regrets of my life. It could have been worse. She could have showed up and been an absolute train wreck. $1,500 hair extensions. I hate myself for doing that. My fiancé almost did this. I talked her out of it. Thank God. Company. Kane. At my peak I was dropping $100 200/week. Yikes. Completely dissolved my septum and needed plastic surgery to fix it because I snored like a bison's mating call. I have a cadaver's rib cartilage in my face acting as my septum. Bad times. That is to say the coke itself was good times. So many great memories. The nose issues were not. Edit. Since I keep getting asked, it was $50 gram in Baltimore. I would do all-nighters a couple times a week, usually on weekends, but definitely not every day. I had a 9-5 office job. I used to do heroin instead of coke, but I relate to this so much. That was like my daily spending. But I wasn't in active addiction quite as long as you. I didn't dissolve my septum, but I did duck up a lot of veins, get hep B and a lot of abscesses, scar the duck out of myself. And another great thing I realized was that if you tie off in the same place over and over and over, the rope burn from it won't go away until I guess your skin cells replace themselves. But they're still there for me even a few years later, which sucks in the summer. Hey man. A recovering user with rope burns always looks better than an active user. Keep it up, mate. I bought an 450 Australian dollars bong, then stopped smoking weed. $300 vape, nicotine, not weed vape, sitting in the dresser for a few years now. Children. How much did you pay for them? Makeup. This needs to be on a girl Reddit. The amount I spend on makeup is ridiculous. I have no regrets. I heard one of my female friends say that, and I thought it was something like maybe $100 $200 a year. I was dead wrong. I have 2 teenage daughters. The money they spend is crazy. It's like walking into the makeup department in a store. When my sister was a teenager, my mom hated taking her to the pharmacy because it meant spending $80 to $100 minimum every time. I, on the other hand, dressed like a boy and wore no makeup, which mom hated, but I would always remind her how lucky she was that she didn't have 2 daughters who both wanted a boatload of makeup. I haven't done this in a while, but I used to spend ridiculous amounts of money commissioning artists online. While it's not really a stupid thing to spend money on, because I like to support artists as much as I can, it got to a point where I was spending half of my wages or sometimes more on them. Honestly, it was almost like I was addicted to just throwing money at artists to see my characters portrayed in different genres and scenarios. I still enjoy looking at the various pieces I commissioned, but every time I see them now I can't help but cringe at how many there and how much money I must have spent in total. Super easy trap to fall into if that's your thing. College LOL. A sofa, $700 broke in a year and a half. Was never jumped on or dropped. I wanted to invest in nice furniture, hoping to have it for 10+ years. So frustrating. Nice furniture is in the thousands. $700 is like cheap for a sofa. I got mine for $400 at a tent sale from a furniture store, so I know it won't last forever, but so far so good. Donating to a political candidate. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.